Hi, welcome to Floral Moon Crafts. I'm Chelsea. So today's video, we are, I'm gonna just go through my altar process, what I look for, how much I spend, um, how I like to set it up, and kind of like why. Because I think a lot of people think that building altars has to be like this whole extravagant, expensive ordeal, and it doesn't need to be. There's so many different things that you can use as offerings for deities or for your spirit guides or whatever, or just for you to have a space where you feel comfortable um, doing any spiritual like meditations or whatever the case may be. Even just if you just want a space just for you to journal, um, you can absolutely make a beautiful big altar, or it doesn't even have to be big, just beautiful in whatever way you consider something to be beautiful. You can make a nice altar without breaking the bank. So let's get into it. Um, First and foremost, the most important thing if you're going to be buying things is sales. Find the sales. Like rummage sales, garage sales, thrifting. Even if you go to like a regular place and they have sales, that's amazing, okay? Because a lot of the times the sale prices of things are actually so much cheaper, and people really don't take advantage of that, and companies know that. So if you have the opportunity to sign up for a rewards plan or something like that, and it's like free, rewards cards are usually free, okay? Don't sign up for a credit card. Please make sure that you pay attention. But signing up for a rewards card is totally free, and that can really make a big difference in your altar making. Um, Altars are not, you don't have to make an altar all at once, okay? As well. Like when I build my altars, it's over the course of time. I will say that, like, yes, I do sometimes, like, I'll spend a weekend, like, going shopping or something. Um, and I'll try to just use all those new pieces. But it took me some time to like build up to the point where like now I just have a bunch of options, and then I can just play around with them and then move it every month or do whatever I want. So speaking of sales, I went to a rummage sale recently and I got a bunch of stuff. I'm not going to show you everything that I got just because I'm not necessarily using all of it for an altar. I use things from like from sales like that for a bunch of different reasons, which maybe I'll just make in a different video because I do use them for like crafts and things like that. But in terms of altar making, like there are definitely some things that you could always look out for, which we'll get into right now. So first is glassware. Glassware is great because you can find plates, you can find bowls for spells, for herbs that you want to use. You can use them for offering like plates as well. Um Anything like that. You can have cups and glasses that you can use to give offerings of water or wine or whatever. You can also find decanters where you can put moon water in there or sun water, whatever kind of water you want, really. Or even just plain water and just charge it with your energy or something like that, that you can offer a deity or your spirit guides or whatever you're making the altar for, or whoever you're making the altar for, or if it's for yourself, doesn't really matter. Glassware is like so easy to find when you go to a thrift store or a garage sale or a rummage sale, something like that. A lot of people have a lot of glassware and they just don't need it. Oh, estate sales are also really good, but I will say estate sales can be more on the expensive side, as well as um those like vintage shops. not like a thrift shop necessarily, but like the ones where like people kind of like curate them themselves, they tend to be a little more expensive. So just beware of that. But if you just go to like a Goodwill, or I don't know what other kind of thrift stores are around. I'm like in New Jersey, so that's like the main one I feel like. But um any kind of thrift store that they actually have decent prices, you will usually find glassware. So at the rummage sale, currently I'm working with Aphrodite and Hecate. So Aphrodite, she is all about, love, the goddess of love and war, and she really likes the ocean as well. So I try to look out for anything ocean related, pearls, hearts, anything that reminds me of love, anything that looks like doves and peaceful and pink and red, things like that. Um, so I actually found this like heart shaped um, bowl, and it has like roses etched on the side, and it's just like a beautiful piece. Okay, but it's like literally just like a beautiful piece. And I picked this up, it was $6. And I picked it up because I was like, I can absolutely do a spell in here. Like, literally, just put some herbs in there, put a candle right in the middle, say a prayer with it, boom. Like, and you can just reuse this all the time because it's glassware and you can wash it. I don't put anything in a dishwasher personally. That's to each their own. Um, I don't like dishwashers. I usually clean it like I would wash a regular dish, and then I go over it with glass spray as well, just to like keep it shiny. But something like this is always a good find. You can also find a lot of like plates, and the other good thing about it is these are fireproof. Like, because it's such thick glass, you don't have to worry about the candle burning all the way down. You could always put foil on the bottom as well. I've seen people do, but I usually just stick it right on the glass. I don't really care. But with the copper plates or like the silver plates, you have to make sure that it's fireproof silverware, because sometimes you buy it and it's, if you can bend it, it's probably not fireproof. I usually knock on it or I try to bend it, and if it doesn't bend, then I know like I should be okay. But just test it. Other glassware to look out for, like I said, cups. I got one for myself because whenever I pour myself a glass of wine, I like to give my deities a glass of wine as well. So I just thought that this one was just like cool and fun and just like, love it. But you can also look for cups like this, antique looking silver. It has like a beautiful design etched on it of like leaves. It's really pretty. And these aren't dirty. Like, these are like really clean. I got 4 of them for $6. Like, it just came in this box. The rummage sale that I went to was really, really big. So thankfully they had like a lot of different things. But I got it from a tent that literally just has glassware. And it was great. So looking out for things like this is great because, once again, you can put anything in here. You can put crystals in here if you want, and use that as like just a little offering thing, so like the crystals don't get lost or something. Once again, I personally use them for wine or water. So when I am pouring my wine, I'll give them wine in this, and this is like their cup. um, I have bought many kinds. Right now I'm using this one, which I've had the wine in here for a long time, so don't judge me. But I like to wait until it's like literally like this weird liquid kind of thing, and then I always want to use it for something, but I've never used it. So, but anyway, um, this was just like this little glassware. It has like a gold rim on it, and I thought it was really cute. And it came in a pack of 4. Once again, I think I paid literally $5-6 at the thrift store, and I was using these. But I really like these, so I'm gonna switch to these silver ones. But like, you can find them anywhere, so that's a good thing to look out for. And speaking of drinks and wine and water, decanters are something that are great to look out for. Now, you can find decanters at like Target or something for like $5 if you want, but I personally like more like antique looking ones. And I do think that you can usually find them at a thrift store or something like that. At the rummage sale, I found this one, which I absolutely fell in love with. I thought that this lady was going to pick it up, and then she ended up picking up like a random vase that was like right next to it. So I got to snag it, and I was really really happy. It is gold. I don't really care about mismatching my sets and stuff. I have a lot of gold items and I have a lot of silver, but decanters are a really really cool thing. This one is kind of small, like it doesn't hold a lot, so I'm not going to use it as a water. I'm not going to use it as a water decanter. I'm going to use this one specifically for wine, and I'm just going to put the wine in here. And when I do a ritual or something, I will take my decanter and I will pour the wine from here into my glass for my deities. And I don't know, I just think decanters are fun because it's kind of just an extra little step, I think, than just like pouring the wine. Obviously, like, you giving them something is enough. You don't have to be extra like me. But I just love being extra. So, and if you're like me, decanters are a great way to be extra. And anything that we consider extra, they consider an extra piece of love and an extra offering almost. Um, so yeah, I paid $10 for this. This was the most expensive thing that I bought at the rummage sale. So, like, once again, super cheap. And like, yes, it was $10 and maybe you can get one cheaper, but like this is like a one of a kind looking decanter. I've never seen anything like this. So I thought that was really cool, and I will be using this as their wine thing. Um, the only thing with decanters, if you're going to be using it for wine, just make sure that you don't let it sit too long because it's going to be hard to clean. Like, I'm literally going to pour it in here, pour it in their cups because I'm extra, and then I'm going to put water and soap in it immediately so that it doesn't like kind of stain or whatever, because this actually doesn't open, so it's just like this. So like getting in there to clean, I'm not gonna be able to do it, so I have to just use water and soap. So just be aware of that when you buy your decanters. Make sure it's like practical for you. um if you don't have a tool to clean it properly, or just make sure you pay attention that you don't leave the wine in here too long. But yeah, bowls, plates, glasses, decanters, anything that you can use as little offering trays, even. Those are definitely something to look out for, and they're usually on the cheaper side. So those are super handy. Um, you can also find candle holders. Candles, candles, candles. I personally love candles. I actually used to hate candles because I used to always be scared of fire, but I'm not scared of fire anymore because I learned candle safety. So I use a lot of taper candles. I use all kind of candles. I use taper, I use pillar, I use like shaped candles as well. Um, I use candles that come in a jar. I use candles that I thrift. I use candles that you can get at a craft store, whatever. I use taper candles the most, I think, just because they come in so many different colors and then they burn for a long time as well. I also use a lot of tea light candles, which you can get pretty cheap somewhere. I personally get mine from IKEA. They smell good and they have a long burn time, so I like those. But you can also get them at the dollar store. They just don't burn as long, and they usually don't have a scent. I just think that you get more bang for your buck when you go to IKEA, personally. So that's where I usually get those. But you can use anything as a candle holder. Obviously, make sure it is fire safe, like I said before. But like, I bought this with the intention of it being a candle holder. Now, it could be a candle holder, it could not be a candle holder. This could be something that you use as a drinking glass. If you really want, you can use this as a glass for your deity. I really like this like mosaic um tiling. a lot of stuff in my room, I have pieces that are like this, so it's kind of just like my thing at this point. um, but I will be using this as a candle holder. I'm literally going to take a tea light candle, pop it in there, and then it'll glow, and like it's just cool. So that's just like a fun decorative thing that you can do, just to like make your altar look a little cooler. I personally care about what my altar looks like. um it doesn't matter to everyone, and it doesn't matter as long as your intentions are like, this is going to be a space that I'm setting up for whoever or myself or whatever your reasoning is. That's totally fine. I just personally like to look at my stuff because I use all these things not only for them, but it's also like a display for me as well. I'm definitely a maximalist at this point, so I do like to look at all my stuff. Everything that I put is, for other people it like looks messy, but like I intentionally sit everything where I sit them for a reason. So I don't know, I just think that this is just like something fun. It's just like cuter than just like a basic like glass like vase or whatever. Now I do use those because I love just looking at a candle sometimes, but sometimes I do like to add a little something, add a little spice. But those are always something cool to look out for. Another example is something like this. Um, this one was $3. This was 4. Once again, don't have to break the bank. It's literally less than $5. I'm gonna use this for Hecate's area, but it's literally like blue, purple. You could also use these for a spell as well. I like to use color magic and everything. So this could also be good for if you're trying to work on your higher chakra, um, like openings and balances and things like that, because the cup is purple and then the little beads are blue. So it's like third eye and your crown chakra. So those are cool, but you can literally find these anywhere. I also got this cool one, which it holds a taper candle, and then that way the candle flame is not out if you worry about fire safety. And then you can also pick it up. Now this is more of a rare find. I've never seen one of these before. So this might not be the easiest thing to find, but you could find things like this. So as you can see, I pick up very different looking things, but that's okay. It's whatever you like, But I knew that I was going to use this, so I'm going to use this on my desk, and I'm probably going to use this when I journal and stuff with those, stuff like that. Another great thing that you could look for are vases for flowers or plants, things like that. Um, any kind of vase. I usually use the mosaic tiles vases. I think those are really cool. Or you can just use a regular vase from the dollar store. you know it's literally just glass. You can see the stems, you can see when the water needs changing. Super cool. You don't need to use real flowers either. You can literally get fake flowers or faux flowers, whatever, from a craft store or the dollar store, whatever. um I personally try to get flowers that I think that the deities would like, and or flowers that are colors that go with like their vibe. But you can even just get them whatever flowers you like and then be like, here, I'm giving this to you as an offering. But you can totally find vases anywhere. So those are super handy. Now, you can also find some really miscellaneous things like jewelry or um, just items that have to do with them. So I'm going to use Aphrodite for an example because I did get her some stuff from the rummage sale. So, example, I found this jar of shells. Like I said, she likes the ocean, so seashells, water, salt water, anything like aqua colored, blue, things like that. I try to look out for as well, not just like pink and red. But I bought this, it was $3, came with the jar, and it came with all these seashells, which you can find seashells at a beach or something, obviously, or and that's for free. But if you're gonna buy them, you can usually buy them at a craft store, but they can be kind of expensive. I don't know. I thought $3 was a really, really good price for the jar too. I really got it mainly because I needed the jar. I don't really need the shells because I have a lot of shells for her, but I have been planning on making altar boxes, and I'm gonna start out by making some for the deities that I already have, just to like get my foot in the door kind of thing. So I am gonna use the shells for the box, which I'm really excited about. But this is a great find. Super miscellaneous. You can literally just give the whole thing if you want, or you can take the shells out, make a craft with it. You know, there's plenty of options. But miscellaneous things like this are super cool, and it's great because it doesn't necessarily require you to do anything. You just have to buy the actual thing. So definitely look out for things like this. It's good for you to know a bit about your deity. I mean, you should always know about your deity before you start working with them. Um, but if you feel called to work with a deity, like do some research, see what kind of things they like, what kind of things like represent them as well. I never really find anything dove related, so I haven't really given her any offerings like that. But I do love giving her seashells, pearls, things like that. Speaking of pearls, I found this really cool little jewelry holder thing, and it's pearls and it's absolutely gorgeous, and it's in the shape of a heart. So like something like this is a great find. Once again, you're not going to find this anywhere. I really think that like thrifting is just the best way to go, because people have such antique things that are not you're just not going to find just at a place. Um, so I thought that this was really cool. I don't know what I'm going to put inside of it yet. Haven't figured that out. But even just giving this to her as an offering is enough. And I paid $2. So you can't beat that. Speaking of things that you can find that are one of a kind, you can absolutely make items for your deities. Um, I personally love to craft. I'm definitely a DIY girl. I see things and I'm like, I want to make that instead of just like buying it. Now it depends, because I do like to support small businesses and things like that. So, like, if it's like affordable for me at the time, then I will absolutely buy it. But I am the type that will also try to make it myself, which I usually succeed in. So, um, so you can absolutely make a lot of things. It doesn't have to be anything crazy. You can draw a picture if you want, even if you can't draw. Sometimes I make little scrapbook pages and I use that as an offering, or I'll frame it. You can do it on Pinterest if you want, if you don't want to like sit there and cut out a bunch of things. You can make like those collages on Pinterest and do like a mood board kind of, or like a mood collage, I guess, of whatever deity or intention that you're trying to put. Print it out, frame it. You don't even have to frame it. You could just put it on your altar if you want. Bada bing, bada boom. Like, that's a craft right there. Um, Making spell jars, making oils with intentions that you can use. You can make candles if you're into candle making. Candle making is I guess it's kind of a little more expensive. But sometimes I do have a wax melter. I thrifted it. It's literally a mini cast iron pan, and I put a tea light candle under it, and then it cooks the wax. Um, but I make my own candle wax melts for my deities. Like, I'll do a specific color that matches the vibe, and then I'll put herbs that are associated with them, burn it, melt it down. Now I have a wax melt specifically for my deity, and whenever I'm trying to be in touch with them, I will burn that and smell the aromas. That's another thing. Aromatherapy is really good. doesn't have to be something so physical, you know. You can take a rose um, essential oil, put in some distilled water. If you have a diffuser, put in the diffuser. Now your room smells like roses. That can be an offering in itself. Beautiful. There's a lot of different things that you can do. I used to do cake making, and I made Aphrodite like a little, I can't reach it, but I made Aphrodite just this little like heart shaped cake looking thing, and I beaded it and put her name on there. Boom. Like, there's so many different things. I've made oils for Hecate, dry flowers as well. I'll take the flowers that I buy for them and then I will dry them and use that as an offering for like new herbs for them. There's so many different things that you can do. You do not have to buy these super like extravagant, cool looking things, whatever. You can absolutely make your own stuff. um they Anything that comes from the heart, anything with a pure intention of being for a deity or for an altar or whatever, is enough. Okay, I can't reiterate that enough. But yeah, so that's just an example of things that you can look for, and at least things that I look for the most part when it comes to altar making. On a budget, you really don't need a lot. I think the most expensive thing on my Aphrodite altar is a $20 um like drawer thing. It's really pretty, but I got that at a confinement, I don't know what it's called. One of those shops. It's like a thrift shop, but like not really. It's a little more expensive. Um but you can absolutely find gems that you can put together to make an altar. I think people think that just because people have a lot of stuff on their altar means that they spent a lot of money. Absolutely not. I'm so cheap, and my deities know that. But I look out for things, and that's the difference. So definitely try it. Let me know if you like to do these rummage sales and things like that. You can always find them in your local area, or maybe I mean, this one I drove an hour, so maybe it's not always super local, but definitely just look online, ask people when you go to thrift shops and stuff, talk to people as well. You never know what you'll find. Um, and estate sales are good. You can find cheap things at estate sales. It's just sometimes they can be more expensive. So it really depends. Your local craft store, you can always make stuff. Or you can just buy things that you can use as an offering, and it should be pretty cheap. Signing up for rewards, very important, because you can definitely get your money back and get things on sale or get things at a lower price, and vouchers and stuff like that. You can get free things um, if you're signed up for a rewards member and you shop a lot. So that would be totally helpful too. But yeah, I hope this helps. That's basically all the kinds of things that I put onto my altars. So, and I just wanted to show that like you don't need to spend a lot of money. So super exciting. But yeah, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next video.